So we're going to start off with the election of officers to serve from July 1st to June 30th. Anybody want to run for treasurer? Hearing no one, thank you so much. We're going to just table that for next time. Moving it along, city monthly reports, starting with the Honolulu Fire Department.
Good evening, this is Captain Ryan Stevenson, and these are statistics for December. For fires, we had 8 structure fires, 0 wildland brush fires, 8 nuisance fires, which includes rubbish fires outside of a structure or vehicle, 1 cooking fire, and 23 activated fire alarms with no fire. 257 medical emergencies, 3 motor vehicle collisions involving pedestrians, 9 motor vehicle crashes, 0 mountain rescues, 0 ocean rescues, and 5 hazardous materials incidents. Safety tip for this month are lithium-ion batteries. Lithium-ion batteries supply power to many kinds of devices, including smartphones, laptops, e-scooters, e-bikes, e-cigarettes, smoke alarms, toys, and even cars. If not used correctly or if damaged, these batteries can catch fire or explode. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions. Only use the battery and charger cord designed for the device. Replace cords that are damaged, frayed, or sticky to the touch. Charge devices in a cool area with good ventilation. Do not keep charging the device or device battery after it is fully charged. E-scooters and e-bikes should be only charged outdoors. Smaller devices should be placed on a hard, non-flammable surface when charging, never under your pillow, on your bed, or on the couch. Store batteries away from anything that can catch fire. That's it for this month. Any questions for me?
Any questions from the board? Thanks. Any questions from the community? Anybody online?
I just have one question.
Go ahead.
Real quick, one question. Thank you, Chair. As for the Narcan use, I know that was one of the things that we just had as a request, as part of the things that, brought out as a report. Is that something, that's worth reporting right now, or have you guys had used Narcan?
We have used it at alarms. So if we suspect narcotic use, we will use it. There's no contraindications for the use of Narcan, but we have used it at alarms, yes.
Any other questions? Any questions from the community? Hearing none, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Honolulu Police Department, District 1.
Good evening, everyone. Lieutenant Arnold Sugusu representing District 1, Community of Responsibility. Happy New Year, guys, and hope everything was nice and safe for you guys during the New Year's. I just wanted to start off by saying that there was a changing of the guard in regards to District 1. We have a new major, his name is Paul Okimoto, and a new captain, it's Henry Roberts. There was a transition of power that pretty much started in mid-December and is still ongoing. But we just want to reassure the community that there will be no interruptions in police services during that time. So the new major and the captain also realized that 2024 will, bring on new and more challenges with the community's help. And we here at HPD, especially District 1, are going to be up to the task. Yeah. So I just wanted to give the floor real quick to Major Paul Okimoto. He's here today to just say a few words to the board. Major.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Thanks for your time. My name is Paul Okamoto. I'm recently promoted to Major in District 1. I just wanted to come and introduce myself to you folks and tell you guys that although we're just a small part of your area, our district sort of encompasses the area from Ala Park all the way to Punahou. And I think we're a small sliver of your area of concern. But we're committed to make sure that we can solve some of the pressing problems in our area, and I look forward to working with you guys in the future.
Thank you so much, Major.
And with that, I'm going to be presenting the statistics for this week and answering any questions. So we'll start off with motor vehicle thefts for the month of December 2023. It was 2. Previous to that, it was 7, so it's down. Burglaries were 2. Previous month was 2. Thefts were also 2, and which is down from 6 from the previous month. UMVs or car break-ins were 6. Previous month was also 6. Sex assaults, graffiti cases, and drug cases were all 0 for both months. Total calls for service for your area was 260 compared to the previous month of 255. So we're kind of staying status quo. With that being said, I'm going to yield back the rest of my time and take any questions from the board.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the community? Any questions online? Well, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all that you do and welcome aboard for the new major, Okamoto. Thank you so much and stay safe. Okay, we're gonna move it along to Honolulu Police Department District 5.
Hi, can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Hello. I'm Lieutenant Chris Hong from District 5, Kalihi. Went over the stats for December. Burglaries, there were 12 compared to 9 the previous month. Motor vehicle thefts, 21 compared to 18. Thefts, there were 56 compared to 54. And car break-ins, there were 13 in December compared to 25 in November. The total calls for service was 2,883. I don't have any other stats to share, but if you have any questions, I'm available at this time.
Any questions from the board? Ken?
No, go ahead.
Hi, Cullen here. Just today alone, I witnessed 2 homeless people starting fires. One was by McDonald's with the moped, and just before I arrived, I had called in the homeless lady on Oiki Street, right by Amazon, setting her van on fire, so I don't know why they choose to do stuff like that, but that's something that I've been noticing an uptick in. It's just my thoughts.
Okay. Yeah, if you do notice any type of criminal activity, arson, please do call it in. Do you know if the HFD and HPD responded? Were you able to hang around to give a statement?
I had to come here.
Okay. It would be helpful if you do see somebody starting a fire. That would most likely be considered arson, especially in a public area. So having a witness statement would help with criminal prosecution in the future, if available.
Okay, it's actually, it's a question, but also it's kind of a request. So the question is, when it comes to special duty officers, especially looking at Dillingham, for example, one of the things that I've noticed, and I've noticed this many times, and I've seen one that actually, I know they're on special duty, but actually gave people tickets, was making a turn on Dillingham into the private road, not the one that's over here in Alacabo, but the one, just before that, where the sign that says, there's a sign that says, do not make a left turn. I have seen so many people do that. I've seen almost crashes where it was be a side from the buses that are coming from Eva on Dillingham. Cars are crossing in front of it or trying to. It's incredible. I don't know if that's you guys or DTS or what has to happen there for there to be some level of collaboration, but if there is no enforcement or that special duty officer is just there just because they need a body there for the construction versus actual enforcement on that, that's something that needs to be thought about. And every single time, and I cross there regularly, I almost see what would be accidents maybe 4, 5, 6 times a day. So just something, the traffic division side. I think that's District 5. That's part of District 5.
Okay.
Sector 5.
Yeah, and then for any special duties, for future, if you do see hazards that are not being addressed by the special duty officer, you could call 911. If a sergeant or supervisor from HPD is not assigned to the job site, they'll send a patrol sergeant to evaluate the job site, make sure it's within the permitting, and make sure the special duty officers are doing the enforcement that they were assigned to do. So if you do see that, but if you're saying it's
I don't know the answer. I'm just saying, is I see a special duty officer there. I don't know how far in terms of scope is, or they're only there because of heart and only for the construction. But if there needs to be an officer that's part of in terms of traffic enforcement for that area, then that's not an SPO, then that is what needs to happen, because I've seen so many cars just make that turn that it says no making that turn, and I've almost seen them get hit by buses. I've seen almost other cars almost many times. I can't even count. I thought I saw a camera that was there at DTS, but apparently there wasn't. So I just wanted to bring it out and, as we are in court.
Yes. And then just like I mentioned earlier, if you do see violations or crimes, go ahead and call 911, meet with the officer, point them out the observation that you witnessed, and then we can better evaluate the situation. Like you said, you're not sure if that's special duties job, the stage job, our job. If you're there and you notice it, that it's a concern. Please meet with the officer, point it out, ask for a supervisor if necessary, and then we can address it appropriately. Thank you for your observation. I'll still have somebody check that area.
Hi, Cullen again. One more concern, since you mentioned something that it just dawned my memory, has to be in regards to Kalihi Village and a lot of pedestrians crossing Nimitz Highway as well as Dillingham. I guess they're traversing the Middle Street bus terminal. So I go back and forth at least 4 times. That's my my route when I take my child to where she needs to go. But lots of near misses, and it doesn't matter the time of day. A lot of people utilize that area like it's legal what they're doing. I do see an off-duty vehicle there. The lights are on, but I guess this is not only for you guys, this is for other city officials. I don't see the need for a big pedestrian bridge right in front of the old spaghetti factory location. I think there needs to be one that services majority of the people here in Hawaii, which I think the need is for the people that's crossing illegally by Kalihi Village. A lot of near misses. That's it.
Yeah. I'll also send officers in the area. I think I know where you're talking about, for the freeway at Nimitz area, right? Before the freeway on-ramp.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe there has been some. I believe there has been some pedestrian fatalities
Yes.
in and around that area. I'm very familiar with that area, as I sometimes have clients that live there. So, officer, if there can be something that can be said to the Kalihi Village Management Group, which I believe is part of IHS and some human services affiliates, if that can be communicated with them for them to talk to those that are the residents there for their safety, that would be helpful. And to have maybe translators, because many people that live there don't speak English. English is not their first language. They might not even know they're not supposed to be doing that.
Okay. Yeah, and if other agencies do have contact with those administrators, that would be helpful too, inside, more than just the police trying to tell them to police their own people.
Right.
But we can do the enforcement part if they are crossing illegally.
Correct. Thank you so much, officer.
Anybody have a hand up?
Well, we have someone online. Go ahead.
Cares.
Go ahead, ask your question of someone online.
Yeah, cares.
Cares?
Is that the name?
Yeah.
It's Angela.
Oh, Angela,
Hi, Angela.
you're muted. Angela, you're muted.
Angela,
Yeah.
you're muted. Take off your mute.
No, I was muted.
Go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. So I was just wondering, the Major Turner from the Honolulu Police Department, is he from District 5?
He recently retired after 27 years of service. He's no longer with the department, but our major is actually our captain, Captain Kurt Ng. He was here for a few years now. He's the acting major at this time.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. He organized a lot of events in the district. So
Angela, do you have a question for
who is the
Officer?
new major?
Acting Major Kurt Ng. Last name is NG. Kurt Ng. He's been the captain for a while, but now he's taking the role of acting major.
Okay. And do they work with the community policing team?
Yes, he's their supervisor. Sergeant Owato. I believe you're familiar with Sergeant Owato.
So Sergeant Owato is now major?
No, he's the sergeant of the
Acting
community
major.
team.
Oh,
Angela, I enjoy the string of questions, I really do, it's quite entertaining. But is there something that is more relevant to the community? If not, we're gonna move on and you can put your questions in the chat.
okay.
Thank you so much, we're gonna
Thank
move
you.
along. Board of Water Supply, thank you, officer.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening from my cell phone. I'm Iris Oda from the Board of Water Supply. I report on the main breaks. So there was 3 main breaks in December. On the 4th, there was one near 200 North Vineyard Boulevard. There was one on the 15th of December near 1603 Haupu Place, and one on the 15th again at near 1801 North School Street. So that was the 3 main breaks in December, and a general water announcement. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say Happy New Year. But we have a New Year resolution. The New Year is an opportunity to change small habits that can make a big impact. A significant one is water conservation. So if we're conscientious about our water use, we can ensure an adequate supply for generations to come. So here's some easy ways to save water. That's 5 examples. You can check for leaks, replace your old toilet with a WaterSense labeled model, which is a 1.28 gallons per flush or less, and that would qualify for a $45 rebate from the Board of Water Supply. Third would be consider planting drought-resistant plants. Fourth would be purchase a rain barrel and qualify for a $40 rebate from the Board of Water Supply. And fifth would be put a nozzle on your garden hose. So there's more tips if you go to our boardofwatersupply.com/leak detection. So that was my general announcement. If there's anything.
Any questions from the board?
Mhm.
No questions from the board. Any questions from the community? Anybody online? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Aloha. Moving along with Honolulu Authority for Rapid Transit, Harry Cho.
Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year's. Harry Cho with the Honolulu Authority for Rapid Transportation. I don't have any new announcements regarding the construction in Kalihi, but there were 2 questions from the last meeting in November I can share a little more information on. First was about the road closure at Coho Street between Dillingham and Kamuali'i. I mentioned at the last meeting this is needed to safely perform micro-tunneling work at the Palama Canal. I think the specific question is what exactly micro-tunneling is, and it is a construction method that is being used to install electrical lines under the canal. And again, that closure will continue through the summer of this year. And the second question was from Angela, I believe, about Resolution 23-249. And this actually isn't related to HART. The resolution requests that DTS make modifications at the Halava rail station to improve pedestrian access between the station and the park and ride. So it appears the council member that introduced this resolution would like to see improvements at that station to allow better access for the customers between the parking lot and the station entrance. So that's not something that HART oversees. So if there's any additional questions or requests for updates for those improvements, the mayor's representative can help get those updates from DTS. But other than those 2 items, I don't have anything else to report on, but I'm available for any new questions.
Any questions from the board? No? Any questions from the community?
Hello?
Angela, go ahead, Angela.
Actually, it's just a follow-up. If I may respond, Chair.
Yeah,
Thank
I want you to go ahead.
Thank you, Hart, about the response to the improvement of the pedestrian access, because as a concerned community member, the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, says that governmental services, city, state, federal level initiatives, resources, and buildings must be accessible to those who are disabled. So in regards to that, that is a good thing to hear about the resolution. So that there will be improved access. Thank you.
Well, I'm not saying there will be improvements. I'm saying that the resolution requests that the Department of Transportation Services look into additional improvements to improve access for the riders between the park and ride and
They have
the
to make it
station entrance.
accessible.
Yes, so what I'm saying is all of our stations are, all of the rail stations are ADA compliant. But what I'm saying is the resolution that was introduced is requesting that DTS make additional improvements to allow for better access between the park and ride and the station entrance.
Because accessibility as per the ADA is required by law.
Angela, he's answered the question. Angela,
Hence the
he's answered.
resolution. Yes.
Angela,
Thank
he's
you.
answered the question. Thank you so much, Harry. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move along to, did somebody have a question?
No, questions from the community.
Oh,
Go ahead.
did it have any questions from the community? Sorry, Harry just left. Okay, Harry, are there questions from the community? Online? Nothing? Thank you so much, Harry.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Filling of vacancies, 3 at large, anybody wants to volunteer for that?
I almost have my neighbor person talking to it.
Yeah.
Keep on working
He
on
couldn't
it.
come tonight, but he's gonna be here next month.
Okay, next month, have him be here, then have him have a current valid ID.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna move it along.
I'd like to volunteer.
Oh,
Is that okay?
Oh,
Hi. What's the whole process of that?
I'll need to verify your ID, and then you introduce yourself, provide a little background, and then the board would nominate you, and then they can vote if they want.
Okay.
What about you?
Right now?
Yeah.
we're gonna take a 5-minute recess. Starting now.
Hold on, hold on.
Then you guys can sort it
Hold
out.
on. Wait to that.
Oh,
Okay.
You gotta turn off the mic.
oh, it's still on.
Seven 24 meeting has started again. So what's
If Lloyd wants to volunteer, you can.
I believe someone from the community named Lloyd.
Yes.
Did you want to step forward?
Yeah.
Interested in being a board member?
Oh, it's up there. Oh.
Yeah, just that's the camera right there.
Camera will be on you and you can say his name and a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Pohano. I lived in Kalihi High since 2000. I work at the Tower Brand, which is like on the same block that I live. So always in the community in that sense, just in that sense. what else? What should I say?
Anything you want to share about yourself? What makes you interested in being a board member? What brings you here tonight?
I've always been interested in the community and hearing like what goes on. And recently, there's been like a lot more homeless gathering towards that way since the Amazon has been like pushing more of the homeless out that way. And so tonight we just kind of came to listen. So this is like a last minute thing. But yeah, so I just found interest in it.
Thank you for being here. Okay, and so, anybody want to nominate him or nominate himself?
Yes, I nominate Lloyd Moano.
I second.
Okay. And I believe that we're gonna have a vote.
So I'll do
Roll
a
call.
roll call vote, and then I'll say the name of the person that you want to vote. So his name is Lloyd Pohano, sorry. And then if you want to abstain, then you can abstain. But you need to say the name.
You gotta say the name.
Yeah. Let me start with Evelyn Cullen.
Evelyn Cullen, Lloyd Pohano, that's a definite yes. Someone in my area.
Thank you. Josa Daga.
You say my name too?
No, you just say
Okay.
his name.
Lloyd Moano. Yes, for me.
Ken Farm.
That's an I for me for Lloyd Pahano.
Donald Guerrero.
Yes, Lloyd Pohano.
Doris House.
Yes, for Lloyd Pohano.
Eric Irwin.
Yes, for Lloyd Pohano.
Ferdinand Spintor.
Yes for Lloyd Pohano.
Delia Olima.
Yes, for Lloyd Pohano.
Angela Young. Angela.
Angela, you're muted.
Angela.
Hello?
We're taking a vote for.
Access the
to fill-
setting. Okay, am I unmuted right now? Can you hear me?
Yes, you're
Yes.
unmuted.
Okay, I vote yes.
For Lloyd Pohano.
Yes,
You have to say the name.
Oh,
Lloyd Kahano.
And Amanda Yabez.
I, Lloyd Kahano.
Welcome to the board.
Oh.
Thank you. Recess, I can say.
Okay, and we're gonna have a 5-minute recess again, to swear you in.
yeah.
Thank you.
Finally,
Very nice.
another board member.
Do we need to mute that again?
Nice.
Oh, where's Mahalo. They're board. Moving it along, board business, a resolution urging for Universal Community College in Hawaii. Cards, do you want to speak to that?
Yes. So I'll just make this kind of brief and quick. Universal Community College will pretty much give more access to students, whether they are new, old, and the fact that we have HCC right across from us. I think that this resolution is important coming from Kalihi Palama, understanding that HCC does not just provide transfer pathways to degrees like, college degrees, but it also offers trade work. I have seen people major in field working, air conditioning, I believe welding. Another one is police enforcement and firefighting, which we definitely have a shortage on those. If we can have accessibility to these classes to make sure that these students can pursue and find a better career for themselves, I think that would be amazing. So if we pass this resolution, we're setting the course for other boards to do the same, especially those that do have a community college such as KCC, WCC, and LCC.
Thank you so much, Cards. I'd like to piggyback on that. Being a professional in the field currently in the state, there's a dire need for all professions, nurses, doctors, teachers, you name it, social workers, police officers, firefighters, every single person has a shortage in their professional area. With that being said, I think Hawaii also has a struggle with affordability. You have an education, that's nice. You finish your college, then all of a sudden you got student debt. And then Hawaii is already expensive. People move away. How can we as a state also retain and train professionals and keep them here, if not moving them onto the street and off of this island? So with that being said, I have supported that last year, and I will support it again this year. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Part B, are you any more discussion about that? Anyone online want to speak to that?
I do want to say one part. I said I do like resolutions like that, especially you're talking about HCC. A lot of times, because I've asked HCC, is there a lot of more students coming from Kaimuki and coming from Pearl City. So the question from when I had a share was, how do we go about getting more from this area, Lower Kalihi, because we have the two high schools is McKinley based upon where the lines are, that's with the DOE, and then you have Farrington. How do we get more students from Farrington to come down over here to, make that matriculate from there over to ACC? So I definitely agree with that.
Also, I don't know who you may want to speak to, but public service loan forgiveness program is for all professionals for the state of Hawaii. If there's any way that you can influence any administrator for the state of Hawaii to reduce it from 10 years to 5, and some kind of contract agreement that, hey, we're going to pay for your education, but you got to work for us for a timeline, and then we can pay off your student debt. So something for you to think about, something creative. It already exists, but it's 10 years. That's 10 years too long for people to afford.
I agree. And to add on to that, I have talked to Representative Mizuno, John Mizuno, before. He was appointed to governor's office, that he would be creating a bill regarding a tuition freeze. So it definitely would freeze tuition. I think that alongside free community college will not just solve things short term, but it will also solve things long term.
Kind of a form of student loan forgiveness. It is a form of it. Thank you so much. Great idea. I support it fully. Anyone online? Erwin, does he want to say anything?
Oh, just really quick. No, just to clarify, the resolution hasn't been circulated yet. This is just to draft, or did I? I'm sorry if I missed it.
Because I don't see it.
No,
We're having discussion on it.
Oh, it's
okay.
only discussion.
Thank you. That's all.
Because we don't have it circulated.
Maybe next time we can circulate it.
Okay.
Okay, so we're moving along. Thank you so much, Carter. Meaningful discussion. B, discussion on a bill relating to discriminatory practices in rental transactions based on source of income or creditworthiness. I'll speak to this specifically. Anyone that needs food, water, shelter, the basic necessities of life, their value shouldn't be based on their credit. Welcome to Hawaii. We're all in debt to some degree. Goodness, fully rich. Oh, Ernest, one moment, please. So with that being said, there is a bill that is going to be introduced at the Capitol, and it's about that anyone, doesn't matter where you're from, it shouldn't be based on your creditworthiness in order to seek shelter. Everybody should have that right, food, water, shelter. And those that are looking for a job, shouldn't be based on, hi, well, you got bankruptcy last year, or somebody in your house died, or you got divorced, and all of a sudden your credit has crashed, and you can't get a good job. How are you going to get a good job to pay off your debt if you can't even get it because your debt is bad? It's a rabbit in a hole. You can't come out of it. So this bill speaks to those that are trying to have that second wind in life, and everybody deserves to have an opportunity, the pursuit of happiness. Welcome to America. That speaks to that. So that's going to be introduced. That bill is going to be introduced at the state capitol.
Can I just say one thing about that, Chair? So the other thing too is when it comes to discriminatory practices is like when it comes to the housing vouchers, right? We have a bunch of those, but in some cases it's up to the landlord. But it is an issue because a lot of them don't take it. It's free money on the table. And we're going to see more and more people that are going to be trying to look for those types of things too. So I think that's part of this bill that's going to be out there too. So just keep that in mind. Think about that because I could definitely see the use of that more and more. And we need to use that federal money that's out there.
Right.
Question, who's introducing the bill?
I think it's Glenn Mukai.
Glenn Mukai. I will support the bill, especially since many of my friends and I that are younger, usually we worry about the future. And the fact is that we have to start building up our credit at a very young age. Obviously, there are some people that will make mistakes, and obviously some that they will make mistakes, but they won't make as much mistakes that their creditworthiness will still be good. But at the end of the day, it's not just like creditworthiness. I think this is a start, but it's not just that. We're still not making enough money to get by.
Yeah.
So this is just the start of saying like, okay, we understand that, you definitely had a rough time, but now you want a second chance. But you still don't have enough money. That's still my worry, and what many of my other friends are worrying right now.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that this bill is being introduced, and I do hope that everyone here will support it.
Thank you so much, Carlos.
Hi, so Evelyn, I think I'm gonna speak on this bill on the opposite end of the spectrum, simply because I'm a landlord in and of itself. And I participate in the voucher program, and more often than not, it was at a deficit for my pocket. Speaking so much so the damages that's left behind, and I can't collect on damages from people who can't afford to even pay their rent. So I've always finished in the red with people that have vouchers, but I continue to take them, but I just have to make sure that I do my due diligence in selecting these people, because when I go to the state Section 8 office, here's something. I got a call not even 2 weeks ago from this guy, Lyle, from the Section 8 office on School Street. He's asking me about a Section 8 tenant that moved out 2 years ago. He's asking me if I have information about her, and I said, I'm not gonna provide you because I'm not gonna do your job. That's your job. You do your due diligence. So he's asking me about information because they're not on top of their records. And I'm trying to help people, but the state in and of itself isn't helping landlords to wanna help, because they're always getting the short end of the stick, big time. Like they said that they were gonna have this big $2 million kitty where landlords can go and claim against the damages. It never came to fruition. So every year I'm always in the red when I have Section 8 tenants. I've had a few good ones, like now I have one really good one, but they're few and far between. So I'm gonna speak to the opposite end of it, and
So what you're speaking is better filters.
well, the state, they're not good partners.
Introduce a bill. Introduce a bill that speaks to that could possibly give an extra layer of protection. That's what you're speaking about right now.
Yeah, well,
Or suggested language for the bill that's already in there, that they could add in there, that if it is Senator Mackay, that he'd be amenable to, you know.
I mean, there's more landlords out there who would be able to speak from experience.
So to my family. But this is speaking about specifically discrimination. There's ways for you to figure out, and there's ways for landlords to figure out, hire companies, do your own due diligence, which you have, and you found some good ones. You check their employment record, you check their last place of residence. You check their record. It's still up to the landlord. It's not taking away your
Right.
landlord-tenant law
Right.
rights. It
Right.
doesn't take that away. I want to be very specific because I know about that too.
Right.
It doesn't speak to that. It doesn't take away the landlord's rights. What it is protecting are people's rights to start over and have food, water, shelter, just the basic necessities.
Yeah, you know, I also get people that try, and I guess they come from like Tarakun type environment, and now the Tarakun does not want to take them anymore, so they're pushing them out because they're difficult. And so they're looking for other rentals. Even with that, they'll ask me questions I've never been asked before, so I'm questioning, where's this coming from? Like, am I now becoming a Tarakun without really knowing that I'm a Tarakun? A Tarakun, someone who takes care of people who have medical.
Yeah.
Because I've heard some horror stories.
Extended families often do.
Like,
okay, we're gonna move it
Thank
along.
you.
But thank you so much for your feedback, but we're gonna move this along now. Thank you so much, Evelyn. Any questions from online?
Not that.
Okay. So we're moving to C, approval of regular minutes, Wednesday, November 15th.
Madam Chair, make the motion that we approve the minutes as written.
Second.
Motion approved, minutes approved. Thank you so much. Moving it to presentations, Amazon. I believe that's supposed to be online.
We're here.
Hi, Stephen.
How are you?
I'm doing very well. Welcome. Welcome to Kalihi Palama Neighborhood Board.
Well, I'd like to say hello and thank you so very much for giving us the opportunity to present tonight. I would like to share my screen because I have a short presentation, and then we'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have about the project.
Thank you so much. Proceed.
Let's see here. There we go. Again, aloha. I am Stephen Meduli Williams, Senior Economic Development Manager for Amazon, and I've been working with our last mile delivery station team roughly over the last 18 months as we began to develop our site on Sand Island. What I'd like to do is talk a little bit about Amazon in Hawaii. As some of you may or may not know, Amazon has invested roughly $415 million in Hawaii since 2010. So we've had a presence here, and that investment includes infrastructure and compensation for the 900 current full and part-time employees we have on various islands. That early infrastructure is really comprised of 3 Amazon air hubs, Honolulu, Maui, Kona, and then one in Louis. We also have 4 Whole Foods locations, 3 in Oahu and 1 in Maui. And then the other key piece that I wanted to share is that we have 1,500 independent small business sellers in Hawaii. And the unique part about that is, you buy something from Amazon online, but I think the one thing a lot of people don't realize is that 60% of the things you buy are from small and medium-sized businesses. And the reflection of that same reflection in Hawaii represents roughly 1,500 independent small and medium-sized businesses that are currently in Hawaii that are selling on Amazon, on the platform. In terms of our current investment, Our total investment for our Sand Island facility is roughly $200 million, and that includes acquisition and construction. And also, as you may know, in 2020, we purchased a $125 million site in Kapolei that's slated for future development. Building type is still yet to be determined. Our current project in Sand Island is what we would call the last mile delivery station. It will be our first logistics operations facility in Hawaii. Typically, the way we deliver packages currently is that they get flown in to H&L, to the airport, Honolulu Airport, from the mainland. Those packages get picked up by third-party delivery partners, and our partners are primarily the Postal Service and UPS currently. And then they get delivered to residents in Oahu and some of the other islands. With the coming of our new facility, what will happen is that instead of those packages being delivered by the Postal Service and UPS, they'll be delivered by Amazon. What you will see is the blue Amazon vans with drivers with the blue Amazon uniforms, and that's who will be delivering packages going forward in Oahu. We expect this facility to launch in April of this year. Again, it's currently under construction. I'll share some photos in a second in terms of progress of the construction. And again, it's located in Sand Island. From a pure construction standpoint, our general contractor is a firm called Swinnerton Construction. They do a lot of work here in Oahu. They've utilized over 22 subcontractors, creating over 150 construction jobs. The vast majority of those are local jobs. We expect the site, upon initial launch, to create roughly about somewhere between 250 to 300 total jobs. That number is going to increase throughout the year as the site begins to scale up. The other unique thing about our Amazon delivery stations is that they also represent unique entrepreneurship opportunities. And so you'll see the blue vans from Amazon, but technically those vans are owned by independent entrepreneurs, mom and pop businesses that we work with to actually start their own businesses delivering packages for Amazon. So in the case of this particular site, we're initially looking for anywhere from 5 to 6 entrepreneurs. That number is probably going to go up throughout the year as well. And we started the recruitment roughly last week in terms of reaching out to entrepreneurs. We had an event in downtown Honolulu last week where we had roughly about 100 potential small business owners who were interested in the opportunity to be a Amazon delivery service partner. One last thing I wanted to add was that the building will have solar panels, and we've built it in infrastructure for electric delivery vans as well. This is a picture of the site roughly about 3 or 4 months ago.
We don't have it. Yeah, we have not seen the presentation at all. There was no slides up. Sorry.
Oh, really? Hold on one second.
We thought
didn't share
the entire time.
Hold on one second. Okay, there we go. Can you see it now?
Now we can see it.
Yep.
Okay. So this is the site under construction about roughly about 3 months ago. It's now virtually complete except for tenant improvements. There's still obviously a little bit of exterior work, but right now we're starting to focus on interior tenant improvements to push toward a hopefully, knock on wood, April launch. This is a 2 3D renderings of the site as completed, and we're starting to get more blue paint on the building itself right now, so it'll have the prototypical Amazon delivery station look. I think a couple of things that's unique about this particular site is that it's a relatively large delivery station, roughly about 600,000 square feet. It will be one of the largest of its kind in North America. Another unique feature that we're really excited about is that this site will will be fairly self-contained, meaning that all the parking, staging, all of those things that we need to operate the facility will happen within the footprint of the facility, meaning that none of our vans, none of our associates, none of our drivers will be parked on a Weekly Street or any other part of the local neighborhood. When our vans are getting loaded and staged with packages, all that will happen within the footprint of the site. And this is a fairly current version of our site plan that shows the building right here in white, and then what you have next to the building is a staging area here, and this is where vans will be staged and loaded with packages. And then in this area here, down toward the end of Owiki Street, this is for associated parking. Parking for vans and for our van drivers will all be on the second and third levels of the building. Again, everything that we will do will be, again, self-contained within the site. In terms of our actual operations, the facility itself is roughly a 24-hour facility, meaning that we basically have two shifts. One shift comes in at roughly 11 p.m. And they generally leave at about 7 a.m. And then we have another shift that comes in, roughly about 6:37. And then we have another shift that comes in roughly about 7:30 that leaves about 2 p.m. And so the primary role of people, the Amazonians that are working on those ships are primarily to take packages from trucks that will come in from the airport with packages, sort those packages by route, and then load those packages on delivery vans as they're staged. Another quick highlight about our operations is that our vans are typically scheduled to go out at roughly 9:50 a.m. On their routes. In this case, we will probably start somewhere with about anywhere from 150 to 200 vans. So they'll all line up within the site and queue up and prepare to go out on Santa Ana Access Road to Nimitz Highway out to the respective routes. We've staged our deliveries so that our vans are going out after rush hour, both in the morning, meaning that they'll go out at 9:50 a.m. after morning rush hour, and then they'll go out on their single routes. They won't come back to pick up more packages. Once they go out, they're out to roughly about 7 p.m. When they come back. And that's also designed, one, to make sure that they get through their routes, and number two, to make sure that we're not interfering with any local traffic. As I said earlier, all employee parking, delivery van parking, and all van staging takes place on site. In terms of engagement with our neighbors and partners, like yourself, the neighborhood board, what we'd like to do, and this is what we've typically done, and as we launch other sites, is that we schedule monthly meetings primarily to one, give you information about what's going on with the project. Number two, connect on any issues that arise, be it questions about traffic or things like that. We just want to our goal is to be accessible with our partners, both residential and commercial partners. And so we've started that process already, and our intent is to continue that process even after post-launch. Again, we want to make sure that we are being good neighbors and good partners. In terms of the Kalihi Neighborhood Board, our intent, we're excited about being here today to present. And ideally, what we like to do is provide updates every month, just so we're keeping you informed. One, how the site is starting to scale up and reach its capacity, but also be here to answer any questions about anything you observe, any questions that you might have. The other thing I wanted to mention is that this is something that these are things that we typically do when we launch new sites, and with that in mind, we have what's called a community operations team, whose sole focus is to engage local communities in and around facilities that we operate. And they are, my colleague Maria Lee is in attendance to in this meeting today, and she'll certainly be around as we continue to move toward launch and actually from a post-launch standpoint to answer any questions that may arise about our presence. And then lastly, myself, as well as our public policy team, we will always be around and available to answer any questions or concerns that you might have. Again, our intent is to be the absolute best neighbors and partners that we can be, and we're here today to really kick that process off.
Right, Stephen, is that?
Sure, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Stephen, are you open to questions now?
I am open to questions now.
Cards, you can go ahead.
Great. Hi, welcome to Hawaii. We're glad to have Amazon here. I have a lot of questions, so I'm just gonna list them down and then you can answer them in, I don't know, email form or something. The first question I have is, can we see the designs of the vans so we understand if it's actually well equipped with like proper air conditioning and proper room and making sure that it's safe enough? Secondly is, how many employees are you hiring your first time around? Third is, how much is the starting salary? And what are the qualifications for the entrepreneurship partnership or small businesses? What benefits do you have for working at Amazon? And how do you plan to be ADA friendly and employ disabled people and making sure that they're well safe working in the area? And that's pretty much all I have so far.
Okay, I'll go ahead and get started on some of those answers now. So in terms of a van, in terms of a design of a van, so there's a couple ways to approach this. So I can work on seeing if there's any kind of basic description of one of our typical delivery vans that we use, particularly the gas combustible ones that can give you a picture of what they are. But I think what I can also do is just provide some literature that kind of talks a little bit about our safety measures for our van drivers and how our vans are equipped. So that I can certainly get back to you on. In terms of employees, as I said earlier, we're probably going to start out with somewhere between 250 to 300. And that's going to be a combination of Amazon associates who actually will work to sort packages and load them on vans, as well as van delivery drivers. In terms of wages, right now, what I can share is that our average Amazon wage is roughly $20.50 an hour. That's a national average. And then our wages, once for a particular site location, are really are determined on a regional basis. We have not yet determined wages yet for Hawaii. As we get closer to launching, I think that information will be widely available. But right now, we're not determined what the local wages might be for Hawaii. In terms of qualifications to be a DSP owner, as I said earlier, we've had an event, and there's actually a website which I can at some point I'll add that to the chat, or I can share that with you offline. In terms of a website that you can access where you can actually apply. The thing we love about the DSP program is that the barriers to entry are relatively low, meaning that you can start a business as an entrepreneur operating a fleet of vans with as low as $10,000 in startup capital and roughly about $30,000 in liquid assets. I think that one of the main criteria is if you want to be a DSP owner, obviously there's the capital that I mentioned earlier, but also I think it's important to have some experience managing people. And I think the other good part about our flexibility about the program is that we do provide a lot of support for the entrepreneurs, and that includes, we lease back the vans to the entrepreneurs. We provide discounts for uniforms, things like that. We provide logistics support as well, and that's on a daily basis, and operational support. So I think there's a lot of inputs, a lot of things that we do to help the program to be successful. Currently, we have about 4,500 DSP entrepreneurs throughout the mainland who operate as delivery service partners. And this has taken place over the last 5 years. So I think it's a program we're really excited about, and it's been really successful. So happy to talk more with you about that offline. In terms of benefits, if you work for Amazon, you start to receive benefits on day one. Day one of hire, you'll receive a full suite of benefits that includes medical, dental, vision, 401k with match, paid time off, and then we also have a unique program called Career Choice. And this is a program where we actually invest in the upskilling of our associates. And what I mean by upskilling is that this particular program has 3 components. It has a component called Foundations, meaning that if you need assistance getting with ESL or a GED, that's something that we will actually pay for. There's another component called Pathways. If you're looking for specialized skill development in healthcare or technology, we'll pay for that. And then lastly, a program really focused on college. If you're interested in going to either community college or getting a college degree, that is something that we also will pay for. This is a program that's available to Amazon associates after the first 90 days. And the unique part about this program is that we'll pay up to about roughly $5,250 a year, and we'll pay that cost up front. The way we typically run the program is that we find a local partner, a local university as a partner. In this case, we've already talked with the University of Hawaii and the community college system about being a partner for Career Choice. And once they're on, an associate after 90 days could sign up for the program if they want to get a college degree part-time. Again, they sign up via a web interface, and they go online and apply for the classes. Again, we pay for the classes up front, and they're able to kind of continue to grow from a career development standpoint. And then I'll stop there and begin to take some more questions if you don't mind.
We're gonna go to Yosa.
I have 2 questions. Biggest one is there, for Amazonians, is there a process for your recycling? You said it's the biggest facility in the North America, right? What is your plan with the rubbish?
Well, in terms of being in Oahu, so there's a couple things that we're looking at. So when there is excess packages or packages that are not deliverable, we're looking at nonprofit partners to actually take those packages, and that's something, again, we're starting to explore. This is a program that we operate in other facilities. In terms of the specific recycling program for the site, I'll actually have to kind of get back to you in terms of what we've decided to do in terms of whether or not we're going to take packages and ship them back to the boxes and things like that. I can't answer to date what the specific program that we're intent to utilize for the site yet, but it's something that I can look into and get back to you on.
Thank you. Second question, as a board, can we get a tour? Since we're neighbors.
That is nice to know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, we certainly have done a few tours, and we typically do tours a bit. And so I think as a board, I think we can work on scheduling a date at some point shortly after launch to schedule a specific tour for the board. So happy to work on scheduling that.
I think this is gonna be the last question, Evelyn.
Hi, Evelyn Cullen. I'm like a block away from you folks. Do you know the streets in your area? I'm on HOE Street.
Not familiar with that street, but I will know it after tomorrow. But go ahead.
Okay, so I have about 20 kids that are school-age children that run around in that area. So I'm kind of concerned about their safety and all of these vans, and I'm hoping that they don't traverse those in-between streets. I didn't quite look at the egress coming in and out and all of the red lines around Awiki Street, because I'm bordering Awiki going up on Mokawea Street, and that's where you find me on HOE Street.
Gotcha.
So that's my primary concern, a lot of these vans coming in and out. I know in Seattle what it's like, work with homeless people that work in the kitchen, that works in the ghost store and things like that, which is really good. I'm hoping that you can partner with some of our community members like that, like Kahawiki Village. some of the people, they're right there in the community, about a mile away from Amazon. Maybe that could be some people you can tap into for employment. I'm also looking to become a partner with you, say in-house vending machines. So I'd like to know more about that, say providing that for the facility as a entrepreneur, not so much delivery, but in-house entrepreneur for vending machines.
Okay. Do you have my contact information?
I took a picture, yes.
Okay. All right. Let's definitely shoot me an email and let's connect, and then we can see about connecting the dots. In terms of traffic, particularly when it comes to vans, I wanted to highlight that our vans are actually going to take. They're going to take their only egress really is Sand Island. Sand Island Harbor Road. So they're actually going to take that road to Nimitz to go out on their routes, and then they're going to access that same road. So they will be obviously on the opposite side of Awiki Street.
Because I see there's a brand new stoplight right at the bottom of Mopoya and Awiki Street, and it looks like a clear route right into Amazon to me.
Well, that's typically that's going to be for passenger vehicle traffic and not van traffic. So when associates come to work, they're the ones who will most likely use Awiki Street, not the vans.
Yeah, I'm thankful that you have the community operations there, because I'm kind of like the eyes and ears of below Nimitz. I'd like to consider that as the forgotten area. That's why I got involved with my neighborhood board, because there was things that concerned me a whole lot. I've lived there my entire life, so if you need to know anything, I'd be a good person to hire as a independent contractor.
Thank you so much, Stephen.
Thank you.
I think our time has already reached this limit. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate Amazon. We're gonna move it along. Please
Chair, can I
come
ask just a
back.
30-second question? Just a 30-second question, Chair, please, since everybody else went.
Can you input that into the chat? It's been more than 30 minutes.
Yes. Thank you.
And we have to still
Thank you,
go through
Stephen.
all the representatives. I'm so sorry, Angela. Please put it in the chat. Stephen, please come back again. You're more than welcome at every single board meeting to follow up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will be back next month.
Thank you so much. I'll put you on the agenda.
Thank you.
We're gonna move along to residents and community concerns. And I believe Power Tools?
Do I stand up here?
Yes, please.
Okay. Hi, my name is Rand Okimura. I'm second generation resident of Slim's Power Tools. We're located at 1626 Republican Street in Kalihi. I'm here to invite all of you to our 31st annual Kalihi Hand Tool Competition, also known as the He-Man Challenge. This occurs on Sunday, April 28, 2024. The Kalihi Hand Tool Competition will show the speed, accuracy, and convenience of power tools that they provide, and challengers will try to finish one He-Man task manually faster than it takes for the vendor to finish 3 He-Man tasks using power tools. Each year at the tool competition, we have a fundraising event for the American Diabetes Association, and through the years, we've raised $30,000 for the American Diabetes.
Nice.
We'll be closing a portion of Republican Street and having a one-day only sale featuring over 30 vendors. This is on Sunday, April 28, 2024, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Any questions?
Any questions from the board?
See you there.
Any questions from the community or online? No?
Thank you.
so
Thank
much.
you very much.
Thank you.
And we have Ernest Carvalho, I believe, online. Ernest, if you wanted to say something? Ernest Carvalho?
Oh, you're mute.
Hello,
Yes.
can you hear me?
No. Yes,
Now
go
I can
ahead,
hear
we
you.
hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear you now.
All right, thank you. So my name is Ernest Carvalho. I am actually the chair for Neighborhood Board 13, downtown Chinatown. And the only reason that I'm here tonight is I would like to ask the Kalihi Palama board to look at the borders that they have and share with Chinatown.
The borders that I'm looking at specifically is Ala Park and the Evelyn area, which consists of all these areas from IHS and all that, which actually technically it's not, it's truly Chinatown, yeah? I grew up in Kalihi all my life on White Camilla Road across the Meigs, Kalihi, Kalakaua, Farrington. So I do know what the borders are. Usually the borders cut off and everything from Millwrights going back ever side is Kalihi. But this area is Chinatown. We don't believe that the neighborhood board plan actually correctly did the map. So I'm bringing it up. I'm going to ask your board to talk about it and discuss it. We're not discussing like American Savings Bank or all that. We're talking about Ala Park and the troubled areas of Evelyn. I'm going to bring it up with my board's next meeting, which is the first Thursday of February, which is February 1st. Yeah? Let's see what we can do and see if we're in sync with discussing doing a border change. According to the neighborhood board plan, we're allowed to do this so long as both boards agree to this. And that's something that I wanted to bring up. I really appreciate you guys taking time to listen to me. Secondly, I would like to also say that part of your Kalihi Palama district is part of our neighborhood board is in District 28, which I belong to, District 28. And so that I will also be running for State House, just State House representative, okay?
Okay, so since he
mentioned that.
Yeah, since he announced that he was running, you need to ask if there's anybody else that wishes to share that they're running for a certain office, and that's
You have to say it.
Yeah.
Is anyone here running for a certain office? No.
No.
Or online? Anybody running for a certain office online? No? Okay, Ernest, I have a question. I have a question for you, just for clarification, because you said the troubled areas, but what does that mean?
Okay, so we understand that Ala Park and Evelyn area going this way causes a lot of problems coming into Chinatown. And here's the bad thing about it, and it's not you guys' fault, but a lot of the people that are trying to help, instead of reaching out to Kalihi Palama, which they should be reaching out to Kalihi Palama, and I advise them to please reach out to Kalihi Palama, they come to Chinatown to talk about all of this, yeah? So you folks not even getting half of what's going on from everyone that's trying to do everything right, even from Kokua Mental Health and all of that. You guys are not getting all that information that you should have. But this areas, the Ala Park and Evelyn actually should have been drawn in to Neighborhood Board 13's border. Because that's just always
I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to be specific here. So you're talking about Salvation Army, IHS, and the medical examiner's office, is that correct?
Madam Chair.
That is correct. That is correct.
So, Madam Chair, is there any map that you have that you can show us to kind of show what you're talking about? That way, a visual. That would be very helpful.
I would appreciate if you had a map, but maybe at the next board meeting, a full presentation, and you can show the streets, the cutoff, the history. If you can do that, Ernest, but I do appreciate you bringing this up as a discussion and for something for my board members to think about. And then next month, if you can have a presentation, exactly what we're talking about.
So I'll go ahead and actually send you out a map tomorrow, because right now I was actually having dinner with the mayor and everybody else. Yeah, but
Great.
Let's go ahead and I'll go ahead and send it. I've already got the map already drawn. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and send you guys a map so you can share it with the rest of your board. And that's the first thing. All I'm asking for is a discussion about this at this point. I've already talked to OIP and NCO, and they've said that if both boards agree, then it's a done deal, yeah? So that's why I'm bringing up this for conversation with you guys, and I will be bringing it up with my board for discussion also, okay?
I guess my board members, they can discuss it on their own with each other too. Next board meeting, if you could have a more detailed graph and map, and then we can have more meaningful discussion. Because at the moment, we don't have anything to see. But then again, thank you so much for introducing this idea. This gives my board members something to talk about with their families and how Ala Park, IHS, Salvation Army, and the Medical Examiner's Office, you're proposing at this moment for that to be absorbed by Chinatown. But I wanted to thank you, Ernest. Our time is up already. We're going to move it along. Okay, so I look forward to a presentation next month.
Okay, no problem. I got you covered. And thank you guys for allowing me to speak this. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ernest.
All right, bye-bye.
Appreciate you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, aloha. Have a good evening. Okay,
Just quick, I'm not gonna time it because it's gonna be quick. So I met with Kalihi Valley's neighborhood board last week, and I just wanted to tell them, I just want to say what I just told them. I do hope that we can connect more with Kalihi Valley because we are one Kalihi, so I cannot wait to see what more we can do to connect with each other and what progress can we make in the future.
Yeah, there are some streams that they need help with deep in the valley during the Christmas parade that was articulated, communicated. So I do agree with cards, not only with Chinatown, but also Kalihi Valley.
Yeah.
Whatever we can do to support each other, that's what the community's for. Thank you so much,
And
Cards.
then we have a number of hands up.
Um,
Angela Young, Ray
An-
Cordero, and Sunil.
Start with Angela. Angela, question?
I'm going to share a community concern. So if council member has a question, then they should ask from that office, if they're gonna ask.
Go ahead, Angela. What's your question?
I have a community concern, so it's gonna be a 3-minute presentation.
3 minutes. Okay, you're gonna be timed.
Is it okay if I go first, council member?
Yes, you're speaking
Yes,
already,
yeah.
so your time has started.
Yes.
Okay, so sharing screen. Am I allowed to?
Yes. You're just to let you know your time started.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you see the CARES public policy proposals and the QR code?
Yes.
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 Okay. So I think I already went over this. I will go over it again. So representing CARES, a grassroots, and ROAR, Rescue of Animal Rights. And this was our initiatives that we proposed to the Hawaii Children and Youth Summit, which is chartered by law by the Hawaii Revised Statute in 1994. And the summit is the children gathering for their conference to vote on what's most important to them. So this was something published at the summit. And so A, B, C, D, E. And this is something that is ongoing with the community and various schools that we work with. So I'm going to share this. So animal welfare. This raises awareness about cruelty to animals and advocates to build sanctuaries. B is for bullying. So this is very relatable because this is not just something one individual or one person experiences. This can be a generational thing, abuse and trauma. It could be that from one generation, they didn't stop their abuse. So now it's passed on to us, right? So in this graphic, we see someone getting made fun of because of just family background. And then also this one is about LGBTQIA discrimination. So in the quotes, you can see we can make fun of it. It's not even a human, therefore it's inferior to us. Being queer makes you different than us. This is LGBTQIA discrimination. And this is disability abuse. You can see this is very trendy, very, all about the Insta posts. So I think it really is relatable to youths. And so D is about smoking, help with debt, cancer, anxiety, addiction, pain. How do we stop the smoking epidemic? And E, environmental protection. So how does trash and marine debris
Time is up, Angela.
affect us?
Your time is up. 3 minutes has passed.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other questions? Community concerns online?
I'll do that. 3 minutes. Oh wait, don't. Yeah, this is a regular. Yep, I'll start right back. Madam Chair, everyone, thank you very much. The reason I wanted to speak to was the conversation that we just had over here, I think was great. We're talking about, especially when we're talking about like landlords in terms of what is it gonna be when it has things that we see as a community where, okay, we see a need for housing, right? We have these vouchers, but what are some of the issues that happen on the landlord side, right? I think that those are very good insights. Amazing. When we have conversations like that, that really moves things around. That really, to me, it does. The other part I wanted to also mention was when we were talking about the schools and the community college, that was a big deal because we try to engage Honolulu Community College for a very long time. And how do they engage in terms of our community, right? Trying to do that from, and that is something hopefully that we, hopefully we can try to do. We got a great chair here. Brand new chair, awesome. She's been there for, she's been here longer than I
Not
have.
into the community, 45 years.
Yes, she
Wow.
has.
Hey.
Yes, she has. One thing I also want to say is,
We're all here.
I went through a thing about pedestrian safety, and it was, unfortunately, it wasn't a good thing I really wanted to hear, because some of the things that were on there, I look at it from, and I'm a pedestrian, and I use public transportation. So I look at things from that kind of perspective of, if we're talking about public, pedestrian safety and whatnot, what are things that we can do in order to make it safer for people who are taking the buses, who are walking, who are using the wheelchairs? And last time I checked, a pedestrian or even someone in something like this is still slower than a car. Still slower than a car. Yet I've seen, like I said, one on Dillingham, I've seen people almost get hit on a regular basis. I've seen where the lights don't necessarily turn, so you have like a 5-minute time period. I'm going to bring this up when it comes also to the mayor's part too, but use part of this 3 minutes. I'm at 2 minutes now. But those are the kind of things that I think that is very important and part of this community, because we've seen already how many people have died in terms of pedestrians. We've seen the accidents that has happened. The light that the state has in terms of the red light, I think they stopped counting where they put the count that was there. I think we're at 1,500 or more just for the Vineyard Palama camera. But that's all reflective in terms of how are people driving in relation to pedestrians to just safety in general. We talk about kids, we talk about getting to school. Well, I'll tell you what, when you go to Farrington, you look at it, and you've got only one bus, and that bus is on one side, kids are waiting, and that bus is not gonna wait for anybody, they're just gonna go. Empty or otherwise. We don't have the A anymore. So now there's just the one bus. And that one bus is the only bus that's there. Now it's still 1,800 students. So that's something we want to consider. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening to me. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much. Any questions online, any community concerns online? Go ahead.
Is this me?
Sorry. Can you say your name?
Simeon.
Simeon,
Maybe
go
you're
ahead,
muted.
Simeon.
Are you muted?
Yes, hello, good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Go ahead. Yes.
Yes, good evening. My name is Simeon Rojas from Neighborhood Board 16, Kalihi Valley.
Hello.
Hi, I just wanted to recommend something for a possible project for sustainability. I'm the sustainability committee for Kalihi Valley, and I wanted to work with you folks. I was thinking about possible cleaning up Kapalama Canal, and on the side of Kapalama Canal where there's like a fence on both sides from the area parallel to Honolulu Community College, and I think the other side of it, of the canal, we should do a beautification, planting taro and maybe bananas for the community sustainability. I think that would be. I mean, it's a good suggestion. It's a good type of sustainability project, and I wanted to address that to you folks. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Simeon, for coming.
Yeah, any particular date or projected date or time and location and other things, and could you forward that to the NCO office so everybody can get that in like one huge email blast?
Okay, I will.
Perfect, thank you so much.
Question for Simeon.
Well, Go ahead, Gilson.
Hi. I was wondering if you guys as a board could join us. I mean, I don't want to force you guys to come to our meetings because they're really loud. But maybe on another day when you all are free, can we get that situated or set it up? Sorry, for us to meet on the side. I honestly think we should combine courses because we are a huge community, and I mean, the more the merrier. Unfortunately, it is divided into two sections. But if we could do something on the side, aside from our Wednesday meetings, could we make that happen?
That we have to get clarification from the office. Yeah. And again, NCO office can.
And
they
you guys
can
can hold a
guide.
special meeting, but I can follow up on the
Yeah,
details on
they'll follow up.
the exact parameters of it.
There's certain rules that we have to follow. Really?
Yeah.
Even like as
Yeah.
like subgroups.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
It is.
That's if she's finding out now. That's if she's finding out
All
now.
these legalities and
That's if she's
regulations.
finding out now. That's she was wondering. Yes.
Can I just hang out at Starbucks for like an hour?
No.
Well, thank you so much, Simeon. We have to move things along. We have to get to other representatives. Please email blast the NCO office and they'll work on that. I appreciate you. We're gonna move it along to elected officials.
Dana had his hand up for a while.
Oh, Dana?
Hi,
Okay,
Dana.
one more, Dana. And then we're gonna move it.
Yeah, I just want to be quick. I just want to say thank you, folks, for participating in the Kalihi's parade, and I hope you guys would come back. And we have a follow-up meeting, a debrief meeting on Monday at 5 at Kalihi Union Church. So if you guys free for that. And also, I wanted to say that I'm working with the city as well as bringing back some of the events they had. And next one is March 30th. It's the Easter egg hunt that's going to be at Campfield. And it's like Tyler DeSantos came last time, but we wanted to get more involvement with the communities involved, both Kalihi Valley and Kalihi Palama. So hopefully we can get things going coming back from COVID. So that's all I wanted to share, and thanks for participating.
Oh, thank you so much.
We'll be prepared with our sign next year. This year.
1 year ahead, now we know what to expect, learning and
Yes.
development. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just 15 seconds.
So, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, who do I talk to propose like a dog park at Sanai? That has to be by ROH.
Yeah,
Is that outside of
that
Parks
would
and
have
Rec?
to
ROH.
also speak to the representative, which is going to be Daniel Holt, and that's for Santa Ana.
No. Yeah. What, county?
This is a county thing,
Not
so.
sure.
It's a county.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
it's on
maybe
Staten
already-
Island, it's DLNR. It's state.
Oh wait, that's state. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel.
If it was county, then it would be.
But still speak to your representative and have them,
Speak on your behalf.
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna move it along. 8:30. Senator Carl Rhodes. Are you there?
Yes, good evening. On behalf of Senator Rhodes, my name is Paul Mendez. I'll be briefing for him this evening. He wanted to express there's $10 million in capital improvement project funds was released for the redevelopment of Mayor Wright homes. Last week, the Department of Health reported 952 new COVID cases with a 7-day average of 97 cases and 3 deaths for that weekly period. He encourages you to stay up to date on your COVID shots as well as your flu shots. If you're over 60, there's a new vaccine for respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, which is also a good idea to get. He wanted to express that today was the opening day for the legislative session. He wanted to say thank you for anyone that was able to make it for today's ceremonies and stopping by the office. And if you have any new bill ideas, please get them to his office as soon as possible. He'll do his best to try to introduce them, but the filing deadline is fast approaching. And lastly, we wanted to say please don't hesitate to call his office. His Phone number is followed: 808-586-6130. With questions or concerns, or email him at his email is senroads@capital with the O .hawaii.gov. And lastly, again, my name is Paul Mendez. I'll be working as one of Senator Rhodes' legislative session aides, and I'll be overseeing his calendar. So if there's any calendar requests or things, of course, it has to get approved through him, but more than likely you'll be coordinating through me with getting that scheduled. So again, pending any questions, that's all I have at this time.
Thank you so much. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the board online?
Yes.
I ask my question.
Go ahead, Angela.
Thank you, Chair. So as a safety advocate, I testified to support the nominee for the Supreme Court judge to hear juvenile, civil, or criminal cases, to apply in good faith, accurate interpretation of the law, and to execute action. And the nominee judge practices in child sex abuse law. Child sex abuse is a national issue as it involves online child pornography and adolescent rape. And in August 2023, the news released data from the FBI about Operation Cross Country to deal with sex crimes against children, and 6 children were from Hawaii. And Project Safe Childhood is a nationwide strategy led by the Department of Justice to combat sex crimes against children. And Congress passed the PROTECT Act. As mandated by the Act, Department of Justice, working with the National Drug Intelligence Center, completed a first-of-its-kind threat assessment, which showed a disturbing trend of 1, child pornography, 2, online enticement of children, and 3, sex child tourism.
Angela, I'm sorry for interrupting you, Angela. What is your question?
So my question is there going to be any bills, since there's a new judge? I think he specializes in this kind of subject matter. Are there any bills from the office about this sort of initiative?
About the Project Act initiative, correct?
Child sex abuse.
Child sex abuse. Okay. I will definitely pass that along to Senator Rhodes, if you don't mind. If there's, I'm not sure how I can get your contact. If you want to put it in the chat, or I can give you my email, or you can email it at the Senator Rhodes, or you could give me a call at the 6130.
I'll email you. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Any other questions online? Hearing none. Thank you so much. We're going to move it along to Donna Mercado Kim.
Aloha. My name is Rachel. I am Senator Kim's new committee clerk. Senator Kim wanted to let you know most of her staff is new this session, so please be patient with us. Our new office manager's name is Ori, so she'll be taking any phone calls should you need to reach out. As Paul from Senator Rhodes' office mentioned, the 2024 session opened this morning. If you would like to participate in our lawmaking process, feel free to attend hearings or provide testimony. All this information can be found in our community newsletter that was sent out last night. Congrats, Lloyd, on your new chair position, board member position. If you would like to be added to our email list to get our monthly newsletter, please send our office an email. Following up on the feral chicken issue, the feral chicken working group provided their final report recently. Roughly 400 chickens have been caught by the city and county, and they are promoting a public education campaign to kind of deter people from feeding the feral chickens, because that just exacerbates the problem. Senator Kim will be introducing a bill this session to provide the city and county with more funding to combat this issue. Senator Kim's community bulletin just went out in the mail. You guys should be receiving it at the end of this week or early next week. She urges you to please participate in her survey to assist her with any policy making subjects. And that's about it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. Any questions from the board, Evelyn?
Just a quick one. What's the difference between addressing the feral chickens and addressing the feral cats around town? They seem to be addressed differently.
Yes, so I can look into the specifics. I know different traps are required and possibly different ways to lure them into the traps. I'm, from my understanding, and I'll have to double check on this, but I believe that Hawaii Humane Society deals with cats. But I'll double check and get back to you next month.
Perfect, get back to us next month. Sounds great.
I just wanted to add that does she recognize the difference between hens and roosters? Because roosters are the problem. It isn't the hens.
So unfortunately, it is not our office going out and doing the trapping. It's actually the city and county that orchestrates the whole program. Our office just handles legislation. So that would be a city and county question.
Perfect. And
Hi, congratulations on being the new committee chair. Real quick question. I went to the office, this was before even for session. Is the senator open to having a bill that would increase, because she's on higher ed, the capacity for the EMT program for HCC? That study just came in last session. I think I told you guys all about that one. But is that something that is in the works, or is that something that should be amenable to, or needs more work? Can we just, you don't have to answer now, but.
Yeah, I'll notate your question. And I'm sorry, that was the EMT program at HCC, correct?
It was based upon an SCR that she introduced that became the study that UH did. Originally, it was about increasing the capacity for the nursing program, so that it became now the EMT expansion. So I just want to know if that was the cost analysis, everything's already laid out by UH. So I was wondering if that was a bill now, or is that something that needs more work? You don't have to answer it now, but
yeah, get back to us.
Yeah,
sounds
please.
complicated.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Any questions online?
Simeon has his.
Simeon, go ahead.
I wanted to place an open suggestion for if just in case you catch the chickens. I know some in our meeting they wanted to ask about what you're gonna do with the chicken if you catch it. For my suggestion, I forget to put it in, but I wanted to put it in while I'm in you guys' meeting. I think we can use it for sustainability. We can use it for feed, to feed the fishes and feed other cultured animals. It's for feed purposes, so that way we can use it wisely. I think that would be a good suggestion, open suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you, Simeon. Thank you so
Noted.
much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I think that's about all, right? Yeah, okay. We're gonna move it along. Thank you so much for all that you do, and thank you, tell Donna Mercado Kim, thank you so much too. We're gonna move it along to Senator Glenn Wakai. He's not here. Thank you so much. We have received the newsletter. Moving along to Daniel Holt. Not here. Thank you so much. Moving along to Sunny Gannigan.
Hi, so I'm with Sunny's office. I'm interning for him again this session. So first off, we wanted to say thank you for supporting us. We're in our biennium, I think that's what it's called, where we're introducing some bills again, and some bills that actually carried over from the last session. So some bills that we have so far, that we don't have the numbers yet. The bill numbers yet, but we have like the titles or the descriptions of it. So one of them is like youth aquatics, so teaching public school students and funding like classes to teach them how to swim. And then he is a part of the Committee on Judiciary and Hawaiian Affairs. So obviously law reform and judiciary, that's his thing. So currently him and the chair are currently working on some law reform and justice reform and policing reform. So those are things that are being looked into, and also substance abuses. So that's all we have. Oh, and he's hosting Art at the Capitol again this year. So he's running that. So Art at the Capitol is basically where we showcase different types of arts within the Capitol that is like whether it's government funded or artist funded. So we ask you to come on by. That happens in April, so we're still in the planning stages, but it's a great time. You know, you get to meet some of your representatives and senators, and you get to see what type of art do they have to showcase.
Nice.
That's it.
Nice. Thank you so much. Any questions for Kurt Saniganigan's office? No? And any questions online? We have one. April, go ahead, April.
Hi everyone, Happy New Year. This is April. I live at Palama Road. I just want to thank your office for responding to emails, and I was wondering if there's any way someone can connect me with Senator Wakai's office. I've been trying to get a hold of him, and I'm sorry, you have to hear it from me, but if you can just please ask him to respond to my email to schedule a meeting. Thank you.
I will tell my manager that tomorrow. So first in priority.
Thank you so much, April. Anybody else online?
Angela.
Angela, go ahead, Angela.
So actually, Crossing Rain, an up and coming band, did a music video at the art museum. Can we get them to play for the show?
I can ask Sunny. Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
Thank you, Angela. We're gonna move it along. Governor, thank you so much, Clarence. Governor Josh Green, representative.
Aloha, thank you. I put the link to the governor's newsletter for the month of January in the chat, and I recall that the board had previously asked for an update on the Kauhale, and a general update, and so I've relayed that to governor's office, and at the appropriate time, if you'd like a presentation on the Kauhale program, happy to schedule that. I just want to make sure that that is what the board is requesting. And then I also heard the discussion about a dog park at Sand Island. If it is the Sand Island, it's a state park that's run by DLNR, so happy to relay that to my counterparts at the Department of Land and Natural Resources. And other than that, whatever questions that you have for the state administration, I'll note that and relay that to the appropriate departments.
Evelyn, go ahead.
Hi, Evelyn Cullen here. Just a quick comment. I'd really like to see a pedestrian bridge from Middle Street bus terminal to Nimitz, where a lot of people illegally cross, what is that? Going on ramp to the airport on ramp at all hours of the day, near misses. And then it's a state thing, but just replace the one that's supposed to go across from Ward to where the boats are, and put that where it's really needed. Yeah, so you don't have to take money. The money's already funded for that pedestrian bridge where the old spaghetti factory used to be by Ward. If we could change the location to Middle Street bus station, to Nimitz, not a near misses.
So
illegally.
The pedestrian overpass over Alawana Boulevard at Ward was funded by a federal grant, and Howard Hughes provided the non-federal match that's required for the grant. But happy to relay the request to my counterpart at Howard, and I'll have a more detailed response on the feasibility of a pedestrian overpass at the location that you specified at Middle Street.
Yeah, Middle Street and all the way to Nimitz. Yeah. Thank you.
Got it. Thank you.
I do agree with Evelyn. More often than not, I see people just taking their chances, walking or running across a very busy freeway, and there has been many pedestrian fatalities there. And God forbid, the cars and the people that hit them by mistake too. I mean, everybody's lives are shattered. So if there can be something, people cross it at the risk of losing their lives. So let's be smart about it, and if people are going to utilize it, then let's have something for them to use that's safe for everyone. Ken, go ahead.
So I'm just going to speak to that 1 second and then I'll go to address that. The reason people are doing that is because there is no other way to cross other than using a bus. That's why. Because when you look at this thing from the map, it is just this cluster that's all there. A lot of it is state because DOT, because they're looking at the freeway part. And people are going to go the path of least resistance. We saw that happen in School Street, and they try to erase the crosswalks, so it didn't work. So this is on a larger scale. To the part of the governor's side, there's still issues with the GIAs that are from the last session and the session after last. That I think is DLIR, OCS, Office of Community Services. That's a lot of money that's on the table that a lot of these nonprofits, a lot of them have closed down, that were providing services because of the fact that they weren't able to get that GIA money that's in there. Is it possible, and this is a request, that just asking, can we get the total amount of what the GIAs that DLIR OCS has? Because there's still a lot that's left there, and then we're gonna have this session and whatever GIAs come out of this session on top of whatever everything else is on there. And it's just money that's just gonna be sitting there if nothing's done. So I just wanted, that as a request, if that's okay, Dre.
Sure. I'll make the request of Director Butai as far as what GIAs for which DLIR is the expending agency are still unreleased. Happy to get you
that are in OCS, because a lot of what happened was they took from social services and they put them all into OCS. Unless that has changed, that's the current thing now, so that's what the request is. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. We have Don, one more question from the board.
If you go down to and look at near Ward Avenue and the Fisherman's Wharf, there's a pedestrian bridge already being installed. They're putting a lot of money and stress into it. I was quite surprised myself, but it's happening.
So for that project, it's not funded at all by DOT. It's a combination of federal grants and Howard Hughes.
Oh, right.
So I didn't ask, I just looked.
Thank you so much, Donna. We're going to move to online questions. April?
Oh, hello. Thank you for being here. I have two questions. They're kind of related. The first one's relating to housing. I want to thank him and his staff for providing housing. Housing, but also I wanted to know if his office or the houselessness coordinator is working on possible legislation, maybe not this year, but next year, on how to keep Alice families in their home, right? Like, I think there's different levels of preventing homelessness and also addressing houselessness. A few months ago, you weren't there, but I shared a really just personal heartbreaking story, and still today, January 17, 2024, I'm still having to deal with housing insecurity. I'm a single mom living in Kalihi, and I've lived in Kalihi for a really long time. I'm fourth generation, and it just hurts me that I can't get assistance from state area representatives. That's excluding Representative Ganadin's office. He's the only on the state side who has helped me. So if you can ask if there's resources or help on how to keep people in their homes, because having to feel displaced and forced to leave is it's heartbreaking. And I know I'm not the only one, and I'm sure this has been brought up before, but for those that are on the brink of homelessness, there has to be something to be done. As far as the second thing regarding SNAP benefits, I was on SNAP as an Alice family, and I have a newborn, a 6-month-old, and I'm a working single mom. my benefits all of a sudden got cut, and I've had to wait since September. I haven't heard anything. I've followed up with the Department of Human Services. I've called, and it just seems like nothing's getting done. And I'm really at the point of frustration that I have to bring this into the year 2024. So if you can have someone reach out to me, I'd be forever grateful to hear something from the state elected side besides Representative Ganadin. So thank you.
I've put my email in the chat, so if you want to email me your contact info, and then I'll see what I can do about connecting you with the appropriate resources.
I think we have Angela one more online. Angela?
Aloha.
Go ahead, Angela.
Okay. During Christmas time, the community leaders and the governor's office worked with the giving machine. So partnerships that are breaking down barriers with mainstream brands and governmental services working together is something that the community should be about, right? SNAP is working with Amazon. If there are more ways to collab these initiatives to break down barriers that we have normalized, that we should be segregated in our work, Amazon should only be working with Apple, Samsung. Church should only be working with the church. That's not right, and that's not how the community works. So it was good during Christmas time to see that the Giving Machine was working with various community leaders. Breaking down the barriers is what we should be about, to stand together. So.
Okay, thank you so much, Angela. Are there any other questions from the board? Evelyn, did you have one?
I was gonna just share a suggestion with April, if you could contact Catholic Charities, there's this person named Stephanie there. She really helped a lot of my tenants to pay for their rent when they needed to, as well as their security deposit. So even as a landlord, I went above and beyond to try and help my tenants to get what they needed. So I provided the social services for them as well. So that's one of my connections. Catholic Charities, Stephanie. Quick turnaround. Stephanie Kahn, K-O-N.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. Anybody else online? No, thank you so much, Dre.
Thank you.
We look forward to next month's responses. Moving on to city elected officials, Mayor Rick Bangiardi's representative, Stephen.
Yes, good evening and Happy New Year to the Kalihi Palama Neighborhood Board. My name is Stephen Courtney, the mayor's representative and the deputy director for the Department of Information Technology. The mayor provides a Happy New Year's message. We begin 2024 with great confidence and excitement in the momentum we have worked to create during our first 3 years in office. As we embark on the year ahead, we are clear and focused on our priorities with a shared understanding of the profundity of our responsibilities to the people of Oahu. The year in 2023, just to give you some perspective on the services that the city has provided. 32,000 service calls and complaints that the customer service department responded to, and this includes potholes, illegal parking, and homeless-related issues. 3,000 abandoned vehicles were removed from the city streets. 88,007 driver's licenses were renewed. 12,219 potholes were filled by the Department of Facilities Maintenance. 14,876 permit applications were approved by the Department of Planning and Permitting. Again, just to give you a snapshot in regards to the services provided by the city. Often, the city's Department of Parks and Recreation proudly opened its 9th off-leash dog park in the Salt Lake area. And finally, the city did win a big award. The City and County of Honolulu received the 2023 Project of the Year Award from the Project Management Institute Hawaii for their work on a major upgrade of the CGI Advantage ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning System, also known as CHIRPS. This system serves approximately 10,000 city employees, and the financial and budgeting applications help the city maintain a $4.2 billion budget. And actually, that's kind of near and dear to me because I've been affiliated with the Project Management Institute since 2009. So the fact that we're able to win this award was quite an achievement. In regards to departmental issues follow-up, this is with DDC, sidewalks. Board member Pintor raised concerns regarding the conditions of sidewalks on Gullick Avenue not accommodating to people with disabilities. And board member Daga noted the sidewalks on Beckley Street need improvements to make it safer for children to walk on going to school. DDC responded, there are portions of Gullick Avenue and Beckley Street which are privately owned. Gullick Avenue is private from the west side of Stanley Street to North King Street, as well as the portion from North School Street to the Malka end. The western half of Beckley Street is properly owned between Kalihi Street to Kalihi Street, and the eastern half is city-owned. Based on those issues raised, we're unsure which portions of Gullick Avenue and Beckley Street are of concern. So that's where we do need some additional information in regards to the specific areas that are needed for improvement. Please note that the city and county of Honolulu has over 900 miles of missing sidewalks along local roadways, and building them is both complex and costly. The current Oahu pedestrian plan prioritizes our missing walkways based on analysis that considers multiple factors such as bus routes, proximity to schools, and crash history. The Oahu pedestrian plan does recommend Golick Avenue and Beckley Street as Tier 2 priority walkway projects. The city's Complete Streets program has a future federal aid project to improve the sidewalks within the city's jurisdiction of Gullick Avenue. For the portion under city jurisdiction of Beckley Street, the Complete Streets program may explore improving walkways either as standalone improvements or as part of a periodic roadway and pavement rehabilitation project, pending availability of funds. Okay, with that, I'm open to questions.
Any questions from the board?
Yes, sorry, just to respond to that. So, just to clarify, you're saying that they are looking into Gulen, but not on Beckley Street? Because it's partially privately owned?
Yes, that's the problem because there are portions of it is privately owned, but it would help if we actually knew exactly, we need some more information in regards to the exact area that does need
Okay,
to.
this is the entire street. So we're looking at Beckley Street, it's where I've been living for the past 10 years. The entire street has no sidewalks whatsoever, especially by the port. And I think we should have that as a priority because that street is like the main street for the feeder schools. There are at least, so Farrington's one, Kalihi, there's Kalakaua and Joel. The kids over there, they all use that main road. And so my main concern is the sidewalk because they walk on the street. And that road gets super congested and there is no parking whatsoever there. So you have cars parked on the side illegally because there are no sidewalks. And there are hundreds of kids that walk past that street every single day, including young kids. Like, I have a son who was 7 as well. And I see young kids walking by themselves, and there's no regulated area where the kids can walk. So, I mean, if we could push, what is the process to getting city county to do something, even if it's privately owned? Like, who do we talk to? How do we get the records of who it belongs to? I would speak to them personally.
Okay, that I'll have to address that with the Department of Transportation Services to see where they are at that point. But again, I will raise the issues in regards to Beckley Street. That seems to be even, well, I guess we just think it's even higher priority than Gullick Avenue.
Yes, I mean, well, Gulick, they do have kids that pass through as well, but that is a main street to Farrington High School. And Farrington High School has 3,000 students, and majority of them walk, especially in that area. So you got Kalihi, you got kids from Kalakaua and Farrington. So that's hundreds of kids every single day. Thousands, I don't know. I mean, the foot traffic, they go through the other way too, but that is the main street.
Okay. Okay, well, I will raise that with the Department of Transportation Services in regards, in particular, about Beckley Street. So hopefully I can have more information at the next meeting about this.
Thank you so much, Court.
Hello. This is gonna get real disgusting. So, on bus 176, which is School Street, Kukea Street, someone literally defecated on the bus stop. It was diarrhea, and it was really bad. So thankfully, my neighbor called, and they haven't cleaned it, and it's been months, and they still haven't cleaned it, and it's gone now. But like you can still see like the mark. You can still see how bad it is.
The residuals.
Yeah, so it's so disgusting. I choose not to sit on it. So I'm just curious, what is the process? So I don't think she used Honolulu 311. So, but I'm just curious, what happens if we use 311? What's the process behind that? Or if she calls like, let's say 911 or something, what's the process behind that? I'm just curious.
Okay, well, actually, I would recommend Honolulu 311 because it's sort of considered non-emergency. But basically what happens when you put in that request to Honolulu 311, you don't have to know which department it has to go to. It'll automatically figure that out in regards to the issue. So, and that sounds like it should be going to the Department of Facilities Maintenance, where they should be tackling that issue. And but anyway, again, I would recommend utilizing HNL 311, Honolulu 311 in regards to addressing that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Any more questions?
Hi, Cullen here. I got two real quick ones. The first one, that pilot bus that was coming down in front of Awiki Street. What number was that, Ken?
I don't remember, but I remember the route. But
So I wanted to know if that's going to be a permanent bus route, because since Amazon's going to be opening soon. So that's the first thing. The second one is if you can contact the correct maintenance facility that is in charge of the city street sweepers in the morning in Chinatown. It's a one-way street, North King Street, heading into Chinatown, heading Diamond Head. But this street sweeper is heading ever-bound, morning traffic. 2 mornings in a row when I went to get papaya. And I saw the city emblem. So I did utilize 311. And the response was, call HPD, but I'm not gonna be able to stay around to report it, because then that guy's on the move, you know? So if you can, I guess, find out what department that street sweeper is coming out of that services Chinatown. Because he's heading Eva direction on a one-way street. And then he just wraps himself around the block and he goes onto Hotel Street.
So he's going against the traffic?
Yeah, nuts.
Oh. Okay, well, again, that sounds like Department of Facility Maintenance. I believe they handle those street sweepers.
Yeah, can you let him know that I'm watching?
Or not to watch.
Okay, and I guess I will need to know the
Stop.
I will need to know that bus route that you mentioned previously as well.
Oh, it's a pilot one that it ran, I think it went up to
I'll try to find the information out. Yeah, it was
431, but it went past Kahuiki Village onto Sand Island Access around Awiki, up Kalihi Street, and it ran all the way up to Kamehameha Shopping Center. So now Amazon's going to be fully in operation in April. That's going to be a major thoroughfare route for employees.
Yeah. Oh, so you want that? You want the bus route to continue then?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Because then the people from Kahuiki Village can work at Amazon, pick up and drop off. You know.
Okay. Okay. So again, that's with Department of Transportation Services. Okay.
And
Hi, thank you, Stephen. I just wanted to go ahead and bring up, so again, I'm gonna reemphasize Dillingham. whatever that needs to be done from there with DTS, there would be, even if they had a camera there, they could see the frequency for which how many people actually turn. You will have an accident very shortly in that area, just to consider that. Regards to Kalihi Village, I 100% agree. There's no way to really cross there or any other place in that area as a pedestrian at all. I can see why people are doing it because it's the fastest way to get to a bus route. Even though they may have to change traffic, people do it all the time. Next thing I wanted to also bring up was a four-way interstop, if it's possible, between North King Street and Kalihi Street. We're talking about Farrington, we're talking about safety. It doesn't have to be all day, every day, but during the times of where people are heading to school and leaving school, that'd be a great part. Again, you have about 1,800 students that are leaving, that are walking in that area when school's leaving. So the fastest that we can get them across to the sides they need to get to, especially to the buses or wherever they need to get to, is better than keeping them on those little islands and people trying to cross part of the other street. One last thing I want to add is bus route 1. Now we don't have the A anymore. We only have a bus route 1. The frequency of the buses is the same. I would love to see if we can have more buses on that route of the Route 1, so to increase the frequency of that to make up for the loss of the A bus. And I think that that'll be very helpful because when there's a cancellation of that bus, since that's the only bus that goes on there, you'll have a lot more back in terms of people, and that's a trunk line. In my opinion, it should be a 24-hour line, but if we can get that, that'd be great. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay.
All right, Stephen has a lot on his list to
Yes,
do.
I'm trying to write it down frantically.
Thank you
can
so
call
much.
me,
Thank
Steve.
you. Thank you so much, Stephen.
Yeah, thank you.
See you next month. Moving along to Councilmember Rainey Cordero.
Not afternoon. Good evening, everyone. Aloha Neighborhood Board. It's Happy New Year. I apologize. I felt like it was still afternoon, but I hope everyone's doing well. I would like to welcome Board Member Pohano. Thank you very much for joining the Neighborhood Board. First off, I hope that you have my neighborhood report. We were able to drop it off to Palama Hale while we were doing site inspections. So a lot of the things, especially the Board Member Farm brought up relating to Dillingham, as well as the four-way stop, as well as Kalihi Valley Neighborhood Board Member Simeon regarding Kupalama Canal cleanup. That is something we took a look at today. But sorry, I'm just trying to get a chance to share my screen. I'm going to be sharing my screen with you because before I go into my report, which you hopefully should have, I just wanted to share an update. This past week, we had our committee hearings for the year, and just as Board Member Daga, as well as other board members have brought up, the concerns relating to our safety on our streets, especially pedestrian-wise. We know those concerns, and while we have been funding, the council has been funding sidewalk improvements as well as pedestrian, just safety improvements to begin with, we finally were able to get I don't want to say priority, but programs added into the Oahu pedestrian plan. Originally, some of the streets that you see here, hopefully you can see my screen, it lists Palama Street and it had Kanoa Street and parts of Pu'uhale Street and parts of Gulick Street to begin with. But when this plan came before the council, we were able to meet and share with the Department of Transportation Services areas that we really would like to highlight. During that time also, my office was going through making requests for other certain safety measures, working with Board Member Daga, and we were also able to see just this past week that Beckley was added to this list. So this is my first time seeing it, and I wanted to present it to you all as well. As for the Safe Streets for All program, we're hoping to get more information as to see how to address the private streets issues. We did bring up that concern. We did also bring up how to connect it to federal programming, which this Department of Transportation Services administration has been able to provide a lot of it this year, and hopefully we can implement it. So I just wanted to add that update before I go to my report. So moving on to my report, I just wanted to share that I shared different newsletters on the website, but I do want to highlight the Genki Kupalama project. As you can see, we did partner with Kamehameha Elementary School, but although this Genki, throwing the Genkis into Palama was one part of the project. We've been doing this for about 6 years before I got into office, and we started this project with Honolulu Community College as well as Farrington High School. So the girls really helped us with the project down at Sand Island, and we did this partnership and continued it along with Kamehameha Elementary School. So even though this particular drop dates of over 1,000 Genki balls was with Kamehameha, I do want to recognize our govs as well as those at Honolulu Community College who really made this project come into what it is now. With that, I would like to also share that there's a new, we worked with Senator Buckpie to relocate the no left turn street sign on Kalihi Street. And so the Department of Transportation was able to place that, and also so it wasn't blocked by the two nearby signs. I also just wanted to highlight the Farrington High School's Engineering Academy. They partnered with Domino's and provided really great presentations on that. A huge change at the council, this doesn't happen all the time, is that we have a new director at the Office of Council Services. He came from the Hawaii State Senate, and there's information about him there. Tomorrow, we have some special hearings in the afternoon. One is my committee hearing. We're going to be looking at the American Rescue Plan Act funding relating to hazard pay. We normally allow for a 15-day letter from the administration. However, the city council rejected the funding to the tune of almost $40 million to be transferred from the American Rescue Plan to the post-employment benefits program, so that we can further talk about it. Currently, I'm not able to talk about it further because there's further litigation between United Public Workers and the City and County of Honolulu. I would like to note in Iwale, and I know Ernest is still on, there has been a lack of connectivity between Iwale and to Dillingham, and so the city has acquired the Iwale Center to go towards affordable living and affordable housing, but also something that's really huge for me was the connectivity part. Right now, it's blocked by very large underutilized parking lots, fencing, and more, just dead ends that connects Iwale to Dillingham on that side. So this will also include the First Hawaiian Bank on North King Street and a 3.8 acre parcel at 866 and 850 Iwale and 505 Ka'a'ahi Street. With that, I would also like to share, I don't know when I was able to testify, but I want to thank Board Member Pintor because when he was a youth commissioner representing Council District 7 before, he presented this to the Youth Commission, and our youth had such great questions, just as we discussed today regarding Universal Community College. And I think something that Chair Ibanez brought up relating to the vacancies that we have are going to be especially helpful when it comes to the city. We see these partnerships between Honolulu Community College and even some unions in Kalihi Kai, just making these partnerships at Farrington already. So I'm pretty stoked to see that move forward, and I'm looking forward to supporting that with you all if and when the resolution comes before you all. With that, I am here for any questions, and yeah, I'm just here for any questions.
Any questions from the board?
We said thank you for
Thank
doing all
you.
that. I appreciate it.
Any questions online?
None.
Thank you so much, Radiant.
Thank you. And yes, if you or Mr. Simeon from the Kalihi Valley Neighborhood Board would like to partner up, I actually had a cleanup this past weekend, and I already told the stormwater guys that Kapalama Canal got to be next. Yeah, so.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Radiant.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to Councilmember Tyler Dos Santos.
Aloha Chair, aloha board members and community members. Lynn Robinson for Councilmember Dos Santos. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I'll be very brief. Firstly, just good news that we got news that the improvements are coming to King Street and Pool Lane. So sidewalk improvement, crosswalks, curb ramps, all of those improvements to help with pedestrian safety. I also just wanted to, I put the link to council members' January newsletter in the chat. You should have hard copies there. Did you get those? I'm curious.
No.
No? Okay. We have I'm checking on a system with interoffice mail to get those all over to Kapalama Hale so that they get to all of our neighborhood boards. So I'll find out where that glitch is and make sure that you guys have for next month. But I won't belabor the entire newsletter. I just want to let you know that there's lots of information to include the legislation that passed into ordinance. But I'd like to highlight here the continuing legislation in case the neighborhood board or community members want to be engaged. We have Bill 21 relating to the housing code, specifically to facilitate office to residential conversions downtown. Bill 40 relating to the Transit Construction Mitigation Fund, specifically to help Dillingham area small businesses. Bill 44 relating to false statements, that specifically relates to monster home developers and helps to ensure accountability. Bill 57 relating to game rooms, specifically to allow HPD and the Department of Planning and Permitting and other agencies to work together to stop the game rooms. There's another Bill 58 relating to authorized personnel that also relates to game room enforcement, and a resolution for interdepartmental cooperation on game room enforcement. So keep a lookout. All of the links to all of those bills are in the newsletter, and certainly if anyone has any questions or I would like to submit testimony, please do. Lastly, I'm not sure if you've heard from him yet, but I'm pretty sure that Makiki Neighborhood Board Chair Ian Ross is going to be disseminating a suggested resolution that their neighborhood board passed relating to game rooms. So we hope that if you get a chance to take a look at that your board would consider supporting. And I think that that's all I have. Does anyone have any questions for me to take back to the council member?
Sure, Cards, go ahead.
Hi, Lynn.
Hi.
Question. So my neighbor was talking to me, and he assumes that there is a game room on the corner of School Street and Kokea Street. It is
Kokea, Kokea.
Yes, Kokea. One of them could be. We're still. He's like, I'm not sure, but like, kind of thing. But I wanna read because I'm still curious too, because I literally live right next to that house, and this is the first time the word game room has been brought up upon this house. So I'm just curious, what are the qualifications or the definitions of a game room? Because even though gambling is illegal here, at home gambling, like let's say my family playing mahjong, that's legal. So I'm just curious, like what are the qualifications?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Those guidelines and criteria. I don't know them offhand, but I can get back to you. And I can also, if you think that there's a serious issue with that home, meaning that you see, potential illegal activity, something that could be dangerous, lots and lots of traffic, anything that could endanger the community, we can put in a request for investigation and ask the Department of Planning and Permitting to check it out. And that's usually the way these things start. Mm-hmm. So, Cards, would it be okay if I get back with you? That's a really good question.
That's fine with me. Thank you.
Okay.
Real quick. Madam Chair, Lynn, thank you very much for the question I had regarding the different boundary lines, because that's important when it comes to what service providers have in the area. mention that later on with the board. But you're real quick with that, so thank you very much for the timely fashion that you had your response, so thank you.
My pleasure.
Anyone else have any questions?
Chair?
Anybody online? Go ahead, Angela.
Thank you, Chair. So actually, both council members are active in animal welfare, and I just want to express a thank you because in this generation, it sets the stage that the cultural norms are being challenged. Chicken fights are not okay. And just like in this generation, we're fighting for women's rights, women empowering women, equipping each other. So, it's this new generation of getting used to how chicken fights are not okay and that there should be more laws about animal welfare.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So it was good to see in the newsletter the thing about the Humane Society.
Yes, as you know, because I know that council member is engaged with your animals. He's an advocate for sure. Thanks, Angela.
Hearing no other questions, thank you so much, Lynn.
Absolutely, take care.
See you next month. Hey, committee report, safety.
Just at Sand Island, we noticed that right by the sandbox, beyond the gate, there's no more homeless people on the sand anymore. They're gonna be utilizing that entire area for canoe racing, for the park type of leagues like Elan Hoy. They're gonna be brought over from K80 Lagoon and they're gonna be utilizing that area. So my husband went through that area today because he felt it was really unsafe for the kids. But he said it actually looks pretty good. I don't know who's responsible for that, the city or their state, but K80 Lagoon is a state.
State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the park is a city, am I right? Radiant? So is it a partnership between K80 and?
Oh, now
K
you're.
Lagoon is overseen by the city and county of Honolulu
Right.
under the Halaba district.
Yay.
But they're gonna be moving the canoe paddlers over to where some of them already are. So, my concern was just it being full of homeless and needles, but my husband said it looked really good today. So safety, pretty good. That's it.
Hey, yay. Okay,
So
next
I always
one,
want to, I'm sorry, I always want to encourage anyone that sees that great, it's good to know that they're cleared. It's best to report the minute you see anyone return, just so we can nip it in the bud and for best success to keep the space safe.
Okay, next report, education. Any report at all? Hearing none, health.
Get your vaccines.
Get your vaccines, yay.
That's it.
RSV too.
Community resources and educational institutions, announcements. The next Kalihi Palama Neighborhood Board number 15 meeting is scheduled to be on Wednesday, February 21st at 7 p.m. Location to be determined. The Kalihi Palama Neighborhood Board number 15 recordings can be seen on Olelo, channel 49, or www.olelo.org/live at the following times. First Monday of each month at 9 p.m., second and fourth Thursday of each month at 11 a.m. Meeting adjourned.
Ooh, yeah. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.